Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer, and welcome back to PCM22. It's career mode. This is episode 74. We continue on with the Giro. We have the race lead, which is a dangerous position to be in because there are times where no team is interested in the stage, only the break. There's 26 riders in the break, and they are very interested in the stage. And I looked away for just a moment while I was preparing the video, while I was doing some work on the other monitor, and all of a sudden the break had a 26-minute advantage. So we had to take over control. We've gradually brought it back, but it's wasting 4 riders for me to do it. I hate being in this position relatively early in the race. But here's the good news. Even though I'm going to lack some support later on trying to bring these guys back, and I can't let this break take a big victory, by the way, because there are multiple riders that are in the teens in the standings, as close as 7 minutes down. And they're capable, very capable climbers that if you give them suddenly the lead of the race and by more than a small amount, they're going to win the thing. So you can't do that. Can't let them be. Have to chase them back. But at 11 minutes, we're looking okay now. But these 4 guys are just wasted. I hate being in that position. Hate losing them just because, with the difficulty level, can't do it all on your own. Cannot, unless even with an 85 mountain, 85 stamina type guy. On the difficulty level, doing it alone. Just everybody else has enough bonuses where they're above 85. And so I'm nervous about how today is going. But like I said, it's not all bad. Good news is we've actually had a really good draw. Krantz +3, Martinez +5. This is one of the better draws we've had as a team at this point in the race. But what's coming, what's ahead of us, is we're just a couple days away now. A couple more stages. We've got a punchy stage next, and then Krantz should have his fitness peak, and it should be CN +4s and 5s through the final stages of the race. Martinez is about a day behind that, so stage 16, 17 for those guys, and we've got 5 mountain stages in these final 8 races. So today's an important one, and today's hurting because Vashek with a -2, he's almost done. He is almost done. He is not going to be around much longer as we are approaching the first of 2 climbs, and the final climbs. It's a hefty one today. 13K, 9%. It's Zoncolan. It's the biggest climb that you get in the Giro. So everybody else patiently waiting for that is putting us in a bad way, and we'll pull back those guys towards the front, but how much will we pull them back? They have a near 11-minute advantage halfway up this climb, and if no other team chases, I don't know how well we'll be pulling them back, and what kind of situation we'll be in late. But for now, we try to continue climbing at a 71 rate, and try to get through this one with hopefully most of the guys in check. Vashek looks like he's going to be the first one going out the back, and here begins his fade. We'll kind of ride with him for a little bit. The other 3 can continue on at a 71. Over the top, we will need to get water.
There's a sustained rhythm at the moment. Some riders definitely will
Only 2 riders out the back. I mean, it's not like it's a crazy tempo we're setting or anything. It's just we're not getting help. Will Vashek still be here? He will not. So we can set him to auto. Vermark is fading. 2K to go to the top, but he's still near the front of the field. He might be able to at least get us water. Or he might be gone. Peloton down to 115. 13-minute advantage now for that front group as they pushed pretty hard over the climb. Not out the back, but will this split on the descent? It does split. It splits right there. Splits right there. Of course it does. Will we regain contact, and can Vermark get the water, or do I need to send somebody else? Azumi Garzone are doing okay. That was a crash. Let's see who that was. Bystrom. Alaphilippe. Alaphilippe! Oh, he does get going. I thought there for a second that he was out. More riders crashing here on the descent. And we are so close to contact. But right now there's a peloton of just 24. Now's the perfect time. So auto. And we have Chergai. Drop and get water. Quickly, quickly, quickly while it's 24. Hand up, hand up. Come on. Put that arm in the air. There you go. Short climb. 14-minute advantage. Peloton coming back together, but Chergai from here, once he has that water, short distance to get back up there. Okay. Okay, hanging in there, but I'm still nervous about that breakaway in their gap. I'm not so worried about the guys that are here in this group. It's more about the guys up the road and how much of an advantage they have and how much we have to kind of pull them back on that final climb. And still, zero support whatsoever. 28 in the peloton is kind of a beautiful thing, at least. Let's push those two a little harder. 73 now. Piccioni, Chergai, you know that they're not going to be around. We're going to have to sprint train immediately because we're already having to work the front. We've pulled back 10 seconds. 28k to go. Front group's already, they're 9 kilometers ahead of us. Jeez. They're going to win the stage. That part's without a doubt, as it's now up to 95. Remark is back, but he has no energy.
15 kilometers remaining.
Okay, pushing 75 now.
They're moving along at a fair lick. You've just got to hang on. And now we're into the final climb. The riders
Zankalon, huge climb, 13k, and ridiculously steep at the top. I mean, what's our max gradient? As we go through that sprint point they went through quite a while ago. Max is 16, and that's a continuous for a very long period. Zumi. Zumi's gonna gel now. And Garzone's gonna have to gel up soon after. 17k climb. We're 4k from the climb. And it gets steep and keeps on going. Eases off for just a little itty bitty bit, and Izumi is done. And the gel is just kicking in. Boy, that took a long time. And Izumi's done. That's it. And Vermark is also done. So these guys are going to be gone. So Garzone, we're hitting the basic climb. We have to. This is a no choice situation. We're going to set maybe an 85, and we've got to climb because we have 13.5 minutes to pull. We've got to pull back 6 minutes at least on this climb. This could get ugly, folks. This might not be the day we need it to be. Garzone's going to lead this thing out, and gel, and forward, and then Chergai and Piccioni, and then Martinez and Krantz. But again, at least they have a good race day condition, but oh man. 85's a little high. Let's start it like a 78 with Garzone. We got 13k to go. And then here's the other guys. These are the other contenders immediately attacking right at the base of the climb. But let's let them get off the front, and now Garzone control the chase, keep them close. That's going to expend their energy, but let them ride out there. It's going to tire them out a lot more than Krantz. And let these two.
This climb is feared by many
Or
riders.
an auto.
The percentages are very high.
Garzone, his gel kicks in. Chergai, we've got his coming. 10K to go. They have a 1 minute advantage. Chirgai's going to push a little bit harder.
5 kilometers to the finish line.
Started in 83 for him as Garzon is done. Got us to 9.7. That was 4K at the front, but that included all that time he spent leading the break, which we're down to 59 already. But finally, we've got some other teams kind of taking charge, so we can now Chirgai just kind of hold position for a little bit and let them do some of the chasing. We can save ours for a little bit later. Chirgai just kind of holding. That's a breakaway rider. We're pulling back breakaway riders. 1350 to the front too. Frap. Man, this is, like I said, this could get ugly, and it is. It is getting very ugly. Now that front group, these guys are chasing them. That's good for us. 6.7. Zana to the front. These guys are starting to struggle. So Chirgai, can you bring it forward? Down to 40. Youngles down to 13 minutes and 36 in the Peloton. And the front 5 has split into a front 4. They've dropped one rider. Chirgai's done. On to Piccioni, 4.7K. And we need to gel up here. Gordon Nielsen tried to attack and was immediately dropped. 4K. Here's that little respite before we get into that 16%. And Martinez is looking better than Krantz, by the way. As Piccioni gets us into it, and Martinez is going to have to take over here very soon. 3K to go. But now we are pulling back Carr and Nibali. Kevin Rivera takes the stage, and the count starts. Foss. Vacalin was one of those guys, I think, just outside of the teens. 2K to go. Moss is attacking. We're coming back to Rodriguez. We've already caught him. There's Buitrago. There's Aaronsman. So that was a good patient approach to deal with those guys. But we still have like Ucha Brooks with his endless energy, and Moss with his endless energy, and Krantz is struggling, and Martinez is struggling, and yeah, are we going to escape these guys? Not really. Martinez has to let up and just kind of pull Krantz towards the finish as Krantz is still there. 1K to go. Is Krantz still here? Just about. Still following Martinez. Martinez leading him out as best he can. I think that's Ucha Brooks up there. Steinhauser also gaining something. There's Vlasov right there. Krantz, we're pulling him in. This group should be on the same time. Martinez is also done now. But what is that gap? 11.5 minutes. We may not have the lead of the race anymore, depending on where those guys were placed. Koos was one of those highest placed ones. He only finished 12th, so he did not gain a huge chunk of time. Fisher Black was up there. I don't know about O'Connor. I don't think he was. I don't know about Rivera, Foss, Vacalin, where they were placed. So we'll see. We may not have the leader's jersey right now. Otherwise, without the team support, much of it anyway, we did okay with that. I do think we lost a little bit of time today to Ucha Brooks, who's clearly getting, +5 after +5 after +5. He should be out of his fitness peak and hopefully struggle in the final week when we're finally hitting ours. All right, so Rivera, Foss gained the most time. We'll find out what their position is shortly. Vacalin gains about a minute less, but that's still significant. Some Zambanini and Storer gain a good chunk. Ciccone, O'Connor, Conchi, these guys are well up the road. Even Koos was just 3 minutes behind them. That's all breakaway riders. That's still breakaway riders. Ucha Brooks is the first non-breakaway rider at 10:44. Okay, there's your big marker, 10:44. Martinez exactly 1 minute behind now. That and Krantz, who was a bike length behind, is 11:59, so 15 seconds less for him. That's annoying that those guys, literally that whole group, came in together. Not even a bike length between them, and that's 15 seconds. Moss does lose some time at least, though. Buitrago loses some time, so not all bad on that part, but clearly the one who's gaining is Uchobrooks. So, moment of truth. Vauquelin leads by 2.5 minutes from O'Connor, Kuss, and Tiberi. That is 4 breakaway riders into the top 4 positions, and Krantz is almost 4 minutes behind, with Moss at 4:41. Uchobrooks is less than a minute behind us, but we're still ahead of him. We gain time over Moss. We lose time over Uchobrooks. We gain time on Buitrago. Garcia was, I think, just behind, or same time as us. Steinhauser gained a little bit. Vlasov Martinez is now 13th, but that's 4 breakaway riders that jump up the order. Let's now see. Krantz, of course, is about to enter that fitness peak. 2 days. But Tiberi, 79 mountain. Kuss is a 79 mountain. O'Connor is a 78, and Vauquelin is a 77. Those guys are obviously not going in the breakaway any longer, and 3 of them only have about a minute over Krantz. But Vauquelin, at nearly 4 minutes, is going to be a difficult one to catch. Now, time trial is another thing that is a factor. Tiberi is very good at it. Kuss is very bad. O'Connor is not good, and Vauquelin is not good. So Tiberi is a threat, but he's only 10 seconds ahead of us. So we're going to have to watch out for him now as a GC contender. And we're going to have to watch out for Vauquelin. O'Connor and Kuss will fade. They will. But will their team suddenly get behind them as team leaders? Do they have +5s, or did they just happen to have one good day in the break that managed to stay away and gain a ton of time? Boy, that has turned this race around, hasn't it? I have very low expectations that we're going to make anything happen on this stage, but you might as well try, especially with some guys that have been putting in a lot of effort and hopefully are quite fatigued here by the end of this race and starting to suffer for it. So today we're going to try to put on a little bit of a show. We hit the 1.8 kilometer climb for Mark with a -5, so instead of using him as the puncher, he's going when he's going. And so Vashek is pushing really hard through here to make this difficult. You can see that Garzone is feeling it as well, but Garzone can drop to the back and probably be used again here. And Vashek continues to climb on with Azumi now closing that gap, and we escape. We have escaped. Had escaped for a moment. Vashek is done. Azumi could put that pressure on with just that little bit left here to the top. Can we get another split? And can we make it last for 16K? We are 20 seconds ahead for now. Let's take these 3, put them on auto. Garzone. Keep an eye on him as this group chases it down, and it looks like they're going to regain contact here in just a moment. Azumi is out of energy. But we can kind of roll through, and maybe, just maybe, they're back in contact. It is classified a punchy stage, so it is possible to maybe get a gap here. Garzone is nearly there. Vermark is really the only one who's out of it. And Vashek is protecting in the middle. Okay. There's another little hill. I just don't think we're going to actually succeed at doing anything with it. 9K to go. And we have split the field. 65 riders on a Piccioni.
A group of riders has come a cropper, but they all look
Has
ready to
Garzone
stop
gotten
again.
back in position? He has. Vashek needs to get in the order. Vashek is behind Martinez.
It's a puncture.
Okay, Piccioni needs to drop to back. Martinez is going to take a very short turn. Okay, once he kind of rounds this corner, I think we'll let off. We have split the field down to 59, and these guys are going for the intermediate sprint point, which I'm guessing there's probably 1 second, but that's not what we need. Martinez can drop to the back again. And Vashek pushing on 99. Close enough to gel for everyone. Nearly catching the front two. And I want Krantz to attack. And then I want Azumi to follow Vashek, who can sit up. Ah, others are going too. Darn, too late on that part. But can these front five get a separate time as Piccioni crashes right before the finish by himself. Nobody else crashes with him. Carlos Rodriguez and Dan Hool hang on for the stage win. Koij, Ventrick, Gazzoli, Apt, Krantz 21 seconds behind to this group. So will there be separation in just 37 riders here? I would hope so. Game gave gaps when there wasn't a gap on the last stage. Now that it would benefit us, let's see if they actually bother to honor their consistency and give us a gap. It showed separation up here. Time gaps whatsoever, as if it were a sprint stage. But after 44th, it was a minute lost where any contenders losing time. Vacalin leads, O'Connor, Coos to Barry. Martinez is up to 12th from 13th, though. So one rider did lose time. Somebody lost time. That's good. I don't know who, but somebody lost time. So that was one contender out. But Krantz remains in 5th place with Mas Utabrooks, the main three contenders, still in position. Vlasov down at 11th. 18-man break, 2-minute advantage. 75K to go, so we're going to get water one more time relatively soon. We are already going up, and you go up pretty much the whole way, the rest of the way, until the top of the Allscat, and then you finish on the descent. The Paso Giao. Big climb, but I'm surprised it's an Allscat. I mean, it's 9%, 10K. It's nothing compared to what we just did on the last one. 11% max. It's very steady. It's not going to be easy, and I'm absolutely intending on dividing the field over the course of that climb and going for it with our guys, especially now that Krantz has started his fitness peak. Martinez, his starts tomorrow. Piccioni, his also started today. So these three guys are timed right here for the end of the race for it. And outside of that one little breakaway blunder, we would be in the lead of this race at the perfect time. But at least this means we are not the ones that have to chase. At least it has done that for us. But I'm just nervous about two of those four guys that are very well placed. And this climb, even though it's all scat, just does not seem that difficult. But look at the legs already. Holy cow. Okay. Before the climb, just chasing down the break. Movistar is putting some hurting into the field. Martinez in particular, feeling it a bit more. Things flatten out a little bit, but nobody is recovering. This is going to change things because the hurting's already happened before the climb.
This climb is
And guaranteed a lot of riders were not protected. So
The pace is really
the climb before the climb
we shouldn't see too many
begins, and we're already looking at like Vashek needs to gel. We need
attacks. The pace seems much
Azumi
too high
and
for many
Vermark
riders.
to gel. Vashek's the only one who's a little bit too far back. Vashek, let's try to get up behind them, please. So that you can at least provide a little bit of support here. Down to just 70 in the Peloton already. Azumi is protecting Krantz. I want you to relax, and Vashek protect Krantz instead. Why? Because you're not going to last much longer, and Azumi can get a little break and then take over. Down to 60.
The pack is putting the squeeze on the
11 left in the
breakaway.
break. 30 seconds. Vashek is now fading, and Vermark is about to fade. Azumi needs to take over protection. And then Garzone needs to take over protection. Shergai
The escapees have
still here.
surrendered.
He's
The
okay.
pack gave them no
Piccioni
chance.
still here. He's okay. And we've caught the breakaway. 71 riders, and who is on the attack? Vlasov and
There's a few
Buitrago.
riders jockeying for position at the front.
Is there a response from Movie Star? Steinhauser is attacking or responding? Okay, so 60 riders left. Garzone needs to gel. Chergai needs to gel during this short descent. Those two riders are 40 seconds up the road. And then this is going to be the actual climb. They didn't count any of the stuff we just did. Aren't going to last too long. We'll use up our teammates for now. Let the others do some chasing. 3 riders now together, and just 20 something seconds ahead. It's yo-yoing a lot, but just 20 something seconds is all. Okay, Garzone is fading, and Azumi is about to. Okay, so let's change it up. Shergai, protect Martinez now. And Piccioni, protect Krantz. Piccioni is going to have to gel up 7.6k, just 41 riders left. Those last two guys still at that 20 seconds ahead. Gel up for Piccioni. Azumi, Garzone. Gel, and see you later. Rivera. Rivera is not one of the 4. He's the one who won the stage, but he is not one of the 4. Pache. Storer from 14th is dropped. Zambanini from 54th. He was also one of those guys from that break the other day. And Shergai is dropped. And down to 29 riders, chasing 2. Martinez is the one on his own, so that's fine. $5K to go. I think this might be our time to do something now with 5K. At least it will be in a moment. Let's wait for Piccioni. No, they're not chasing, so it's time. It is time. So Krantz is going to follow Martinez. Martinez is going to gel, and Piccioni is going to give me a little acceleration here. Brings the speed up, gave us 300 meters, and now Martinez is going to take over 4.5K, so he's going to climb his mountain pace. Here comes Vlasov. Vlasov coming back into the group with just 24 riders left. Piccioni out the back. Vier going out the back. Magnus Cort Nielsen and Champion, and look at this whole group back here. at the tail end, struggling to hang on. I think we're about to see just a few riders left, and we've caught Buitrago. Martinez is nearly done, but Krantz is going to keep going on. We're down to 15. Krantz.
It's in such percentages that the strongest can create some gaps.
1.6K. 1.4. Just 10 riders here. Now just 3 riders, and he's alone. 1K to go. Martinez on his own. Krantz rides solo. 700 meters to the top. Behind us is Osorio, who's not even a contender. O'Connor is way back here. He is second overall, by the way. But he is dropping. Buitrago is dropping. Yes, sir. And we've made it over the top in one piece.
To get some oxygen into their lungs, but they must remember to keep their shape.
Already recovering a little bit, but we have got a 40-second advantage.
Puncture for a rider. We've got 15 kilometers
And
to
recovering. Descending, an 82 for Krantz. 14K to go. One little uphill section, flattens out a little bit at the bottom, but you know, you can see you're getting recovery. So 90 seems to be working well, as we're not crashing on that part, you know. 11K to go. .43-second advantage. 43 seconds further to the next 2 riders. And we're about to hit that slight uphill, where we are going to sprint. We're going to sprint harder.
Another attack. This time it could go all the way.
Okay, back down to just descending at a 90. We opened up 10 more seconds with that attack. 10 more seconds ahead with the attack. And the red bar is recovering.
Only 5 kilometers left.
5K, 53 seconds. Pushing a little bit harder here. 3.5K to go. We are going to win this stage with Krantz. Martinez, meanwhile, is 2 minutes and 20 seconds behind in A3. He's the 3rd group behind us. And he's 2 minutes behind. 1.5K. 900 meters. Sprinting for the finish line. Come on, get in there. Get in there. Huge victory. Huge victory for Krantz. Osorio. Doesn't matter. He is not a contender. O'Connor is, though. Very is not. O'Connor is one of those guys who gain time, and he is a minute and 27 behind. Also, did not get a time bonus. Buitrago, minute 54 down. And here is Martinez. Fisher Black. Moss is there. Foss is there. No, I don't think Vauquelin. Vauquelin was the race leader, and he lost 3 minutes plus. Piccioni sprinting for the line, yes. Vlasov was 19th on the stage, just crossed the line. 4.5 minutes down. Yeah, all right. Boy, the first stage of the day, with that breakaway, that hurt. That hurt. But it also took some pressure off of us. It would have been nice if it was a slender lead and not 4 riders, that it was maybe just 1. But this was huge today. This was huge. Oh, we made that one. We ran that well. And you know what? That was all down to the fitness peak finally kicking in. Krantz being on a +5. When you have similar capabilities to other riders, you know, you're in the ballpark. You're right about there. You give them the expert difficulty, and they're always there. So you're always just inching your way to be competitive. But when you have the +5, and they have the +5 and the expert difficulty, it's enough. It's enough to overcome them. It's enough to beat them when you manage things right. And we did it. We did it today. Huge win. Let's see what the times are like. On the stage, it is a 52-second victory. Remember, there's also that 10-second time bonus for that stage win. A minute 22. O'Connor, the first contender, so no time bonuses for anyone else. So he's losing a minute and a half to us. Buitrago loses over 2 minutes. This group, including Moss, was 2:10, and then Martinez was 2:13. So he actually did well, as it's going to be good for his position in the standings, despite being sacrificed for Krantz. Vakalen loses almost 3 minutes. Utjobrooks loses 3 minutes. Garcia was one of those guys up the order, I believe. Vlasov, almost 4 minutes down to that contender. Okay, here we go. The GC moment of truth. Vakalen now leads by 1 minute, which means the pressure is still not on us. Krantz is in second at a minute 4, and then it's O'Connor and Koos who both, are fading. Koos is 3:45, Moss is 3. So we have a 3-minute advantage over Moss, the first proper contender. But Vakalen, not a good time trialist and not great on the mountain, who had that big advantage. His team's going to be under pressure to do the chasing on the next stage, which sets us up for another good run and an opportunity to jump over him in the final stages, with O'Connor and Koos both going backwards. Moss, the first contender. Vakalen still has to be considered a contender because he's ahead of us, but the first other contender is Moss, and he's 3 minutes back. Buitrago, also 3 minutes back, another 10 seconds. Utjobrooks is 4 minutes behind us. Tiberi falls, Garcia falls, and Martinez is in 10th with a chance to still move up with, 4 or 5 guys in this group that are a bit out of place. Vlasov, 740, out of contention. All right. The breakaway thing was not ideal. The number of guys who gained from that, not ideal. But our position is almost better than what it was before, because the contenders, Moss, Buitrago, Utjobrooks, Vlasov, are further behind than they were. Quite a bit further behind than they were. And most of those guys who gained from that breakaway situation are either already now behind us, and significantly, and in the case of all but one of them, with O'Connor just behind, and the big gap that I was worried about, the almost 4 minutes to Vakalen, is now just a 1 minute gap, and he is not a good time trialist, and he's not a great climber, and I would suspect if we can get another +4 +5 in the stages to come, we are going to find ourselves in the race lead rather soon. The time trial is the final stage. We're not going to start the next stage, but here is the preview of what is left. So we have that +4 for Krantz, +4 for 5 for Krantz and Piccioni. Martinez starts his fitness peak today, comes in at a +4, thanks to fatigue, bringing it down a little bit. Motivation is good for everybody, but Azumi, he's on 0. Vashek's, these guys are leaving their fitness peaks behind, or Garzone's the only one left. So the support group is fading in these final stages. But again, today we don't have to lead things out. It's stage 17. You can see a big double climb at the end as we go up the San Valentino and the Tega di Ala. Sorry. But here is what remains besides this 17. 18. That's flat. I'll skip that stage. Stage 19. Another big finishing climb. Altamira. Stage 20, that's a tough one, especially with that first climb is going to decimate the field. We're probably going to be leading the race at that point, or we hope to be leading the race at that point. and so that's going to use up a lot of our team. And then you got 2 more climbs to go. That's going to be a tough stage to hang on to, but that is stage 20, and then a flat 29k time trial at the end. 19 and 20 are going to be big keys. I like stage 17 for the chances of what we could do with a 12k 9% gradient with +5s for Martinez and Piccioni and Krantz. I like what those 3 can do under those conditions, and especially compared to the current race leader, who he and his team are going to bury themselves on this first climb. How much flat territory is that? 155. So you got about 40k. It looks like close to 20 descending, because halfway got to be about here, right? That's about halfway. So 19k of descending, and then it's not even, it's 38. So 18k descending, 12k climb. That's about 6k on the flat, I would guess. Might be more, might be 7-8k. So you do need a bit, but plenty of time for recovery on the descent. And if we still have some guys around, I think we wait for the final climb. We're in a good position. You don't attack on the penultimate climb and put ourselves in jeopardy for the final climb. Save it for the final climb. Time is now on our side. Quick update on the team standings. We are still well ahead, and if we do go on to win, not saying that we will, but if we do go on to win, or at least finish on the podium, we are going to grab a whole lot of additional points as well. 23 victories on the year now, as we just added 1 more to that total. Things are going very well, and we are proving ourselves capable in a Grand Tour. But this is not the Tour de France. It is just the Giro. We're still not quite there yet to compete with certain guys. There's certain riders that are just not here at this race. Not that it's an easy field. It's a field very capable and very deserving of a strong Giro. It's not the COVID year that Gegenhardt won, where only a couple quality riders capable of winning were there, and then those guys didn't finish the race, and Gegenhardt emerged from the field to come away with that victory. It is a good start list, but it's not a great start list. So if we do manage to come away with the win, that's one thing to keep in mind. But that's going to be quite the achievement if we manage to do so. That is going to do it for this episode, though, on Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.